You wake up every morning with absolute certainty about one thing, that you are real in the most obvious way possible. You feel weight in your body. You feel the floor beneath your feet. You feel your hands touching objects around you. Everything seems solid, dependable, unquestionable. Your senses tell you that you are a physical structure moving through a physical world. For most of human history, this assumption felt undeniable. Ancient thinkers imagined reality as tiny solid pieces stacked together like invisible bricks. Early science agreed. Matter was believed to be firm, stable, and fundamentally real. The human body was treated as a machine made of parts, a permanent object occupying space. But modern physics quietly destroyed that picture. When scientists looked deeper into matter, they did not find solidity, they found emptiness. Atoms, once believed to be miniature solid spheres, turned out to be vast regions of space with almost nothing inside them. The nucleus holds nearly all the mass, yet it occupies an unimaginably small volume. Electrons do not even behave like tiny particles orbiting neatly. They exist as probability clouds, regions where something might appear rather than something definitively located. If every atom in your body were compressed to remove empty space, your entire physical form would shrink to a size smaller than a grain of dust. Everything you see around you, buildings, mountains, oceans, your own skin, is overwhelmingly empty space structured by invisible forces. This leads to a realization that feels almost impossible to accept. What you experience as solidity is not solidity at all. When you press your hand against a wall, the atoms in your skin never truly touch the atoms in the wall. Electromagnetic forces repel them before contact occurs. The sensation of touch is created by electrical signals interpreted by your brain. Your nervous system translates force interactions into the feeling of contact. Reality itself remains distant, separated by microscopic gaps that never close. Your senses evolve for survival, not truth. They simplify an incomprehensibly strange universe into something manageable. The brain constructs a stable picture because uncertainty would paralyze action. You perceive edges, surfaces, and textures because your mind needs order, not because the universe actually contains solid boundaries. The body you trust is therefore not a fixed object, but a controlled illusion, a useful interpretation generated moment by moment. Beneath your skin is constant motion. Particles vibrating, exchanging energy, appearing and disappearing according to quantum rules that ignore everyday intuition. Stability exists only at the scale your brain can understand. For 2,000 years, humanity described the body as a solid entity because nothing deeper could be seen. Physics has since revealed a harsher truth. What feels most real is often the most misleading. You are not a solid being standing in a solid world. You are a temporary arrangement of energy fields interacting in patterns so complex that consciousness mistakes them for permanence. And yet your fears, ambitions, insecurities, and identity are built upon this illusion of solidity. You defend it. You define yourself by it. You assume it is the foundation of who you are. Physics suggests something unsettling instead, that the foundation itself was never solid to begin with. You are taught from childhood to think of yourself as a thing, a person with boundaries, a body that begins at your skin and ends where the outside world starts. You carry a name, a history, a face in the mirror that feels continuous and permanent. Every memory reinforces the idea that there is a stable you moving forward through life. Physics tells a different story. Your body is not an object, it is an ongoing event. Every second, millions of cells inside you die and are replaced. Your skin renews itself, your blood regenerates, the lining of your stomach rebuilds constantly. Even your bones, which feel permanent and strong, are slowly broken down and reconstructed by living processes. The matter composing you is in constant exchange with the environment. You inhale atoms that were once part of oceans, forests, animals, and ancient atmospheres. You exhale particles that will become part of something else. The idea of a fixed body collapses under this reality. Within a few years, nearly every atom that once formed your body has been replaced. The child you once were is not physically present anymore. The teenager you remember no longer exists in material form. Even the person you were last decade has dissolved into the wider universe, yet you still feel continuous. This is the mystery physics forces us to confront. If the matter changes completely, what remains the same? Not substance. Pattern. Think of a flame burning on a candle. It looks stable. You recognize it as one flame. But the particles inside it are constantly changing. Fuel enters, heat transforms it, light escapes. Nothing inside the flame stays long, yet the structure persists. Identity comes from organization, not material. Your body works the same way. You are a process maintained by flow. Energy moves through you. Information organizes that energy into recognizable form. Biology maintains the pattern long enough for consciousness to emerge and observe itself. The universe does not build permanent objects. It creates temporary arrangements that sustain themselves for a while before transforming into something else. This realization carries a harsh implication. The self you defend so strongly is not a fixed entity but a continuously updated system. Your memories feel like proof of permanence, yet memory itself changes every time it is recalled. The brain rewrites experiences, edits details, reshapes emotional meaning. Even your past is not stable. What you call identity is closer to a story constantly being rewritten than a structure carved in stone. This challenges one of humanity's deepest assumptions, that existence means possessing a stable form. Physics instead describes existence as persistence through change. Stability is not stillness, it is motion balanced so precisely that it appears unmoving. You are less like a statue and more like a whirlpool in a river. The water forming the whirlpool never stays the same, yet the shape continues because motion sustains it. Remove the flow, and the structure disappears instantly. In the same way, your existence depends on constant exchange with the universe. You are not separate from reality observing it from the outside. You are reality reorganizing itself temporarily into awareness. The unsettling truth is that there was never a fixed version of you to begin with. There has only ever been a process unfolding, a pattern holding together just long enough to ask what it means to exist. You believe time moves in one direction, forward, always forward. The past feels gone, the future feels unreal. The present feels like the only moment that truly exists. Every experience you have reinforces this idea. You remember yesterday, you anticipate tomorrow. Life feels like a journey moving across an invisible line. Physics quietly breaks this belief. According to relativity, time is not a flowing river carrying you from birth toward death. Time is woven together with space into a single structure called space-time. In this structure, moments do not vanish after they occur. They exist as coordinates, just like locations on a map. Your childhood, this present second, and your distant future may all occupy different positions within the same cosmic framework. The universe does not necessarily create new moments. Instead, all moments may already exist within the geometry of reality. This idea feels disturbing because it challenges the deepest intuition you have, the feeling that now is special. Your brain experiences events sequentially, one after another, and interprets that sequence as motion through time. But neuroscience and physics suggest that this sensation may come from how consciousness processes information rather than how the universe itself operates. Imagine a film reel. Every frame already exists on the strip, yet when projected, the frames appear to move. The characters seem alive, traveling from past to future. In reality, nothing inside the film moves at all. Movement emerges from perception, scanning frame by frame. Your awareness may function in a similar way. The present moment could simply be the slice of space-time your consciousness is currently experiencing. The past does not disappear, it exists at different coordinates. The future is not empty, it is simply unobserved. This realization carries a shocking implication. The person you will become is not being invented from nothing but unfolding along a path already embedded within the structure of reality. Your life may resemble a completed shape viewed one cross-section at a time. This does not eliminate choice or meaning. Instead, it reframes them. Decisions become part of the structure itself, woven into space-time rather than added afterward. Cause and effect remain real, but the universe may contain the entire chain simultaneously. The human body, which feels like a traveler moving through time, may instead be a temporary viewpoint scanning across an already existing cosmic landscape. Death, in this perspective, stops looking like falling off the edge of existence and begins to resemble reaching the boundary of a path already laid out. Birth and death become coordinates rather than beginnings and endings. What makes this difficult to accept is emotional, not scientific. Humans evolved to survive immediate dangers, not to understand four-dimensional reality. Your brain simplifies time into a moving present because that model helps you act quickly and make decisions. But simplicity is not accuracy. The harsh realization is that much of your anxiety comes from misunderstanding time itself. You fear losing moments because you assume they vanish forever. You delay action believing there will always be more time ahead. You regret the past as if it has ceased to exist. Physics suggests something stranger. Every moment you have ever lived may still belong to the universe, permanently fixed within space-time. Nothing erased, nothing undone, simply existing at a different coordinate than the one you currently perceive. The flow of time, then, may not be a property of reality. It may be a property of you. The moment these ideas begin to sink in, resistance appears. Something inside you pushes back. It feels uncomfortable, even threatening, to accept that the body is not solid, the self is not fixed, and time may not be flowing the way you believed. That discomfort is not weakness. It is the collision between human instinct and cosmic reality. For most of your life, you were taught stability equals safety, a stable identity, a stable future, a stable world you can predict and control. But physics describes a universe built on change at every level. Particles fluctuate, stars are born and destroyed, galaxies collide, even space itself expands continuously. Permanence is not the rule of reality. Transformation is. The fear you experience when facing change comes from expecting the universe to behave in a way it never promised to behave. You try to freeze moments. You try to preserve versions of yourself. You cling to roles, achievements, appearances, and beliefs as if they can stop motion. But the laws governing existence never pause. Every second reshapes you physically and mentally, whether you accept it or not. This creates one of the harshest realizations physics offers. Much of human suffering comes from resisting processes that are unavoidable. Aging feels tragic only if you believe stability was supposed to last. Loss feels unbearable when permanence was assumed to be possible. Uncertainty feels terrifying when control is expected, but the universe operates differently. Stability is not stillness, it is balance within motion. A heartbeat survives because it moves. A planet remains in orbit because it falls continuously. Life itself exists because chemical reactions never stop changing. When you stop demanding permanence, something unexpected happens. Fear begins to loosen its grip. Change stops looking like destruction and starts looking like participation in a larger process. The same laws that guarantee endings also make beginnings possible. There is also a deeper freedom hidden here. If identity is a pattern rather than a fixed object, then you are not trapped by past versions of yourself. The mistakes you replay endlessly are not permanent marks carved into reality. They are earlier configurations of a system still evolving. The universe does not hold you still, only your beliefs do. Ignoring this truth has consequences that are personal and immediate. People spend years waiting to feel ready before acting, assuming there will be a stable moment when uncertainty disappears. That moment never comes. Others define themselves by past failures or successes, refusing to change because identity feels fragile. Meanwhile, reality continues transforming without permission. The tragedy is not that life changes. The tragedy is living as if change were an error instead of the fundamental rule. Physics removes comforting illusions but replaces them with clarity. You are not losing stability because stability never existed in the way you imagined. You are participating in an ongoing cosmic process that allows growth, learning, and awareness precisely because nothing remains fixed. Once this becomes clear, control stops meaning holding reality still. Control becomes adaptation, awareness, alignment with motion rather than resistance against it. The universe is not attacking you with change, it is inviting you to move with it. Everything now leads to one unavoidable conclusion. If your body is not solid, if your identity is a changing pattern, and if time itself may not be flowing the way you imagined, then the way you live your life cannot remain the same. The old story, that you are a fixed individual moving through a stable world toward a distant future, collapses completely. You are not here to preserve yourself. You are here to participate in reality while it unfolds. Every breath proves it. With each inhale, atoms that once belonged to stars, oceans, and strangers enter your body. With each exhale, parts of you return to the universe. The boundary you believe separates you from everything else is constantly dissolving and reforming. Existence is exchange, not ownership. This realization carries responsibility. If you are a process rather than an object, then waiting for certainty makes no sense. Processes do not pause, they evolve. Life does not prepare itself before moving forward. Movement is the preparation. Most people live as if they have unlimited time to become who they want to be. They delay curiosity, they silence ambition, they avoid difficult truths because comfort feels safer than confrontation. But physics offers no guarantee of permanence, no promise of later, no fixed ground where hesitation becomes harmless. The universe changes whether you act or not. Ignoring this truth creates a quiet tragedy. Years pass protecting identities that were temporary from the beginning. Fear dictates decisions meant to preserve stability that never existed. Opportunities disappear not because fate intervened, but because hesitation replaced action. The harsh reality is simple. You are already changing every moment. The question is not whether transformation will happen, but whether you will participate consciously or drift unconsciously through it. Seeing yourself as part of the cosmos shifts everything. Problems shrink against cosmic scale, yet meaning grows stronger. Your thoughts become rare events, arrangements of matter capable of understanding the laws that created them. Awareness itself becomes extraordinary. Out of billions of years of cosmic evolution, the universe has produced a moment where it can observe itself through you. That is not small, that is not ordinary, and it does not last forever in the form you currently experience. So the takeaway is not despair. It is urgency mixed with freedom. You do not need to become permanent to matter. You do not need certainty to begin. Meaning comes from engagement, from exploration, from choosing to think, create, and act, while the pattern that is you still holds together. Stop waiting for life to feel stable before you live fully. Stability was never the point. Motion was. Question assumptions, challenge comfortable beliefs, learn relentlessly, speak honestly, act before fear convinces you that tomorrow is guaranteed. Because the universe is not standing still while you hesitate. It is expanding, transforming, evolving at every scale imaginable. And you, a temporary but conscious arrangement of cosmic energy, are part of that movement right now. So confront reality directly. Drop the excuses built on illusion. Think bigger than survival. Live as if awareness itself is rare and fleeting. The universe has already begun the process. The only question left is whether you will wake up and move with it.